Got ourselves a pair of Game 5s. The Celtics trying to close out the Sixers, and the Spurs trying to do the same thing to the Blazers. It's NBA Tip-Off presented by AT&T from Studio J here in Atlanta. Ernie Johnson with Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Charles Barkley. Thanks for being with us tonight. Say what?
Dressed in all black today.
That's right, because a couple of teams going down.
You mean business.
No question.
Going down, that's right.
Okay, I just got all black today.
It's going to be a fun show here for the next hour.
Yes,
Got 3 games to talk about because the Hawks and Knicks are also playing tonight in New York. And the great Michael Wilbon will be joining us here on the program.
You know, we call Wilbon the Godfather. Are you going to be?
No, don't do that.
Don't even try that.
Ernie, hold me back.
Don't hold you back.
We never called him the Godfather first.
I call Wilbon.
No, you called him after you heard him call the Godfather.
Your favorite store is Trader Joe's then.
Yeah,
Okay.
gosh.
No, that's Kenny, because he's on all ESPN
You call
shows.
somebody else
Good point.
Diesel
Am I
over
right?
there?
Yeah,
You
you're
call
right.
somebody else Jet over there it's
Well, yeah, it's more like
You gonna
jet
call somebody
lag.
else, hey,
It ain't jet no more. It's jet lag.
you gonna call somebody
still
else
round
Superman.
Yeah, you call somebody other person Superman.
Well, I did do that.
Whatever you feel comfortable with.
There you go.
You know what else?
What else?
Tyron Stokes, the talk of college basketball, #1 high school player in America, going to make his announcement on where he's going right here on this very show.
That's impressive.
Right
here.
That's impressive. Be ranked that high. That's
For
amazing.
that long.
You know what?
There's a story behind that.
You
too.
really can't be ranked any higher.
Well, I just got to
Than
get him
#1.
used to Toomer's corner. Got to write down at Auburn.
I don't think they're in the running.
I don't think
And I can tell just by the way he just shook his head that probably is not the case either.
Well, that was a nice spin right there, my boy.
Yes, indeed.
I like how you spin that camera, my
Hey,
boy.
it's Sean, man. He can do that. Hey, there's Tyron. He's going to be joining us a little bit later. We'll just build up the suspense. Aaron Goodwin is his representative here, too, and so is Mom.
Mom Key?
Yeah.
Yes,
And
she's in the
Aaron's
building.
been a great agent and a good man for a long time.
But not as long as she's been a good mother. So
That's exactly right.
Hi, Mom.
And next time we take a shot of you, we'll try to get you even more cramped. There you go. Okay, you want to talk about Game 1?
Yep.
Talk about Philadelphia and Boston with the Celtics trying to close this out. They've had a couple of 32-point wins in this series, games 1 and 4. Philadelphia's won one game. They did it in Boston. And Joel Embiid came back the other day.
yes.
Charles, what did you think of Joel Embiid's return as he went for 26, 10, and 6?
Well, I was proud of Joel. I know he's getting a lot of heat in Philadelphia, but it's just too little, too late. The Celtics are just a better team. The only chance the Sixers got is when the Celtics go miserable from three-point land. But you got to give Joel credit for just trying. But the Sixers, their season's gonna be over tonight.
The thing is, they were a good team without Joel. They weren't a great team. Pretty much almost similar with or without him in terms of record. But, in the playoffs, you need somebody who can create double teams for others. So if you're going to win or advance, not even win a championship, just advance, you're going to need somebody who can create double teams for others. Joel Embiid coming back admirable, and he actually looked pretty good in terms of physically going up and down. Wasn't sharp all the time, but he physically up and down looked really good.
He is officially listed as probable going into Game 5. Still no official word, but that's what's on the injury report. He came out the other night, scored their first 8, then he missed 7 shots in a row.
Yeah, I really feel for him, because I said this the other night. A couple of years ago, we were, going back and forth with him and Joker, the best big man in the league, was playing well. Ever since then, he's been injury plagued. Had a lot of injuries this year. I have to agree with Chuck. Their season is over, and if it is over tonight, he has to take 1 week off and get back in the lab and come back and say, I want my spot back, because, Joker is the best big man. You got Wemby, who's, up there too. If I'm him, I'm going to be super upset, especially if we lose this game, and you got to get back in that lab. You got to get healthy, and you got to do everything right this summer. A lot of guys want to take off this summer, but you've already had a lot of time off, so you take 1 week off, you enjoy your beautiful family, and you got to get back in the lab, and you got to come back strong.
Tell me this, fellas. When you welcome back a player, he hadn't played since April 5th, April 6th. When you welcome him back in a playoff game, I'm asking this because Tyrese Maxey took 3 shots in the first
Yeah,
half of that game.
Actually, what's interesting, that was going to be my point, Ernie. Like, it screwed up Maxey and VJ because the only game they won, Max and VJ went crazy. And you said, what did you say he scored the first what?
First 8.
Like, that doesn't help the Sixers in the long run because, number one, he got tired. But you got to get
in the long run of the series or the long run of how it would be?
Well, in the game. Like, you know, if he started fast, he was going to get fatigued. You got to get Maxey and VJ going because that's the only game they won.
Okay, Chuck, but you say you got to get Max and VJ going. They have to learn how to adjust. Big fella's back. We're going to go to him. He's going to work. As soon as you miss that 3rd shot in a row, we're going to go away from big fella, right, Kenny? And then we're going to do what we do.
Shaq, number one, he's not the same guy. Like, he scored those first quick points, then he got tired, but they didn't get going. By that time, the game was over.
Yeah, but they got to get themselves going, Chuck. They're guards. They have the ball.
I'm asking Ernie's question.
Okay.
You can see they made a conscious effort to get him going. I wouldn't have did it like that. Because number one, he just had surgery. He can't be in shape. He ain't had surgery. You got to get VJ and Maxey going. That's the only game they won, Shaq, when those 2 kids went crazy.
But I would agree with Shaq on this, Chuck. The offense initiates with those 2. So it's not like Joel is bringing the ball up. And so they have the opportunity to create the shot for themselves.
But they didn't. That's my point.
Well, that's their fault.
They were trying to get him going.
And that's their fault.
You see, VJ went for 30 and Maxey 29 in that Game 2 win in Boston. Maxey on those 3 field goal attempts in the first half said, that can't happen. That's on me. It absolutely cannot happen.
And like I say, they're young kids. You get MVP back. They were like, let's get Joel going. I don't think that was a sound thing because the one game they won, those kids went crazy.
But again, they got to make adjustments. The dude missed 7 shots in a row.
But he made the first 5 or 6, but they became passive. And then the game was over.
That's my point. Ernie said he missed 7 shots in a row. You missed 3
shots.
No,
but after he made the first 5 or 6, Shaq, is my point.
Okay, he made the first 5 or 6. Then he missed 0 or 7. 0 for 3 when he went 0 for 3.
It's time to do something else.
But the game was over by then.
Sixers, by the way, 0-18 when they were in a 3-1 hole. That's the most losses all time. They've played, they're the top 3 teams in playoff series anyway, but they're 0-18 when they're down 3-1. Celtics, meantime, are 32-0 when they have a 3-1 series lead. And, last game it was from the 49-second mark of the first quarter to the end. They were up double digits. Peyton Pritchard went nuts from 3, had 32 in the game.
Well, the Celtics, we say there's not one thing that you have to stop. The only thing that stops them is themselves in terms of shooting the basketball from 3. But in terms of getting quality threes and quality looks, they have done that since Al Horford was there, from Porzingis was there. They're going to get those quality looks. You have to be able to defend the perimeter and make them into drivers if you're going to beat them, which is hard to do. Derek White, who's not really caught fire this series, still another guy who could do the same thing what Pritchard just did on any given night.
But the thing is, too, about Derek White, he's not having a good offensive series, but he impacts the game in so many ways. So you always know he's there.
Without question. He's a defense. He's going to be on the – he's basically taken over the Drew Holiday world of guarding the best perimeter defender. But also, at times he will get 25, 30 points. And he just hasn't had that this series. But it'd be interchangeable.
And you're talking about those guys not getting all involved offensively. They can actually play some defense. When they can't let Pritchard just kill them like that. We spend so much time talking about even though they wouldn't get shots, they could have said, hey, you know what, Pritchard is roasting us out here. They could have played some better defense. But it ain't just about offense.
And I think the best thing that happened to the Celtics this year with Tatum being out, a lot of guys that wouldn't get certain opportunities get a lot of opportunities. And they say, you know what, we can play and we feel good. And they've been playing together. But they've also, developed a great culture and a great system there. And they look really good. And they don't even really need White if you got Pritchard playing like he's playing.
Yeah. Tatum, by the way, you bring him up 25, 9, and 8 is what Tatum is averaging in the series. Jaylen Brown going 27, 6, and 3. Here's a nice little nugget on Peyton Pritchard that I know you'll enjoy, Chuckster.
What's that, Ernest?
Okay, off the bench, with at least 30 points, 5 assists, and no turnovers in a playoff game. First time that's happened since Walter Davis.
Sweet D.
The Greyhound.
The Greyhound back in 1982.
That's an incredible stat.
Yeah, so the Celtics trying to put away Philadelphia tonight in Game 5 at TD Garden, and again, trying to run their record when they're up 3-1 to 33-0, 32.
Connecting changes everything.
And welcome back, sports fans. It's been 9 years since the Spurs won a playoff series, but they can advance tonight with a Game 5 win over the Blazers. It's been so long since San Antonio lost a series with a 3-1 lead that the Spurs were actually in the Eastern Conference. It was 1979, and the Washington Bullets with Bobby Dandridge and Elvin Hayes and Wes Unseld came back to beat them. But that was then, and this is now, and the Blazers are going to try to send the series back to Portland for Game 6. Time to check in with George Sedano, who is standing by in San Antonio. What you got for us tonight, George?
You know, EJ, the interesting part about tonight is that we know the toughest thing in sports is to replace a legend, and Mitch Johnson has just done a phenomenal job thus far to this point in the season. And he's a bit of a chip off the old block when it comes to his coaching style. When you talk to the players around here, they'll tell you, we know that when Mitch is not yelling at you or getting on you, that's when we know something's wrong. And by the way, he did that coming out of that game or out of the half the other day in that last game where they were trailing by 17 points. He got on all the guys, including Victor Wembanyama. And if you look around the locker room, the guys, they appreciate that. Much like Pop would go at Tim and Manu and Tony Parker, he would go at Victor just as hard as any other guy. And I think that really makes things certainly a more level playing field and creates an opportunity for guys to feel like, hey, we're all in this thing together. The interesting part, though, about Wembanyama is that Mitch has told us that, you know, Wemby is a guy that can do a lot of different things, and it comes in spurts, and it feels like a tornado when he's out there, you know, rebounds, blocks, and scoring and whatnot. He'd like it to be a little more sustained throughout his minutes. So something to keep an eye on, see how the young fella responds to that, EJ.
George Sedano, thank you very much.
Lights out reporting.
Excellent work. Could
Lights
be
out reporting.
Yeah, could be lights out tonight for the
Tell you what, he's much better looking when it's dark.
Oh, yeah, there you go. See,
Hey, listen,
we can do that too.
You ain't
Just
wrong
like we had
about that, Chuck.
dancers the other day. All right, George. Appreciate you, man.
See you
Thank
guys.
you. All right, San Antonio. Here's the thing, Shaq. These guys have fallen behind by double digits in each of the last 3 games. Certainly not a habit you want to get into as the playoffs progress. What do you see them doing tonight?
You know, he just mentioned the coach. And, you know, I said this a few years ago. If the general doesn't panic, the troops never panic. Every time they show the coach he's well composed, he's doing the right thing. One thing about the system, you have to beat them. And so, you know, Portland, you know, got out to the double-digit lead, but the system just kept coming. They kept coming. The guards, they're fabulous. You know, Wemby's back. He's going to be playing. Tonight, there's going to be a happy bunch. They're in San Antonio. The crowd's going to be into the game. So in order for Portland to win the game, they're going to have to beat them in every category. So when they get the double-digit lead, they have to keep it. But I don't see that happening tonight.
As the president of the Big Man Alliance, how do you evaluate what you've seen in the progression that Wemby has made through his young career at this point?
I'm seeing toughness. I'm seeing adjustments. You know, he'll shoot the 3 because, you know, he's a great shooter. I never want him to stop shooting the 3. But listen, he's taking his time right there. You know, I don't really like that shot, but I went in. Listen, they tried to touch him up a few times. There was no complaints. He just went to the free throw line like a man. I'm happy. And in 2 years, he will be right next to Jokic as the best big in the league. Right now, he's number 2, but not far behind. But listen, playing excellent, fabulous basketball. I'm happy for the young fella.
He had 27, 12, 7 blocks, and 4 steals the other day. We haven't seen numbers like that in a game, in a playoff game, since Akeem.
Oh.
I'm
just sorry, Shaq. It wasn't you.
No.
Oh, sorry. It was, yeah, and against 93 against the Clippers. Yeah, that was. Dream was the consistent in this as well. The same way Wemby is. You know, obviously the defensive player of the year is his body, his figure, Hakeem Olajuwon, because he was so. I'm sorry, he wasn't consistent on the defensive end of blocks.
Hey, I already gave you your, president of the Big Man Alliance, and let us at least
Hakeem.
mention that Hakeem was okay.
Hakeem,
Yeah, but
I love you, brother.
the most I still think most underrated, even though he's rated so high, the most underrated player to ever play because
Who?
Hakeem. Because most people, because he doesn't be on social media, he's not on television talking about himself. He is. Well, he gave it to you too. What are you huffing and puffing about?
He didn't sweep me.
So he gave it to you
Shaq.
too. He gave it to you too.
He swept
twice,
Shaq.
2 years in a row.
In 7 games, but he swept Shaq.
We came through y'all twice.
Hey, we got 4. You couldn't win the game.
We only went through Shaq once.
Wait, you couldn't win the game?
No, I couldn't. Hakeem was the man.
Okay.
Because
Not a game?
Nope.
You know what made him so great to play with, honestly, Ernie? 2 things. Well, I never heard him say my team. And the second part is when he won the MVP award, we all felt so part of it. If you watched it, look at the pictures of him with David Stern at the time, the late, great David Stern. We're holding the trophies, the teammates. He was so shy. He was like, no, I don't want to hold it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go out there by myself. Would y'all? And he asked us to come out there to do that. So for me, the most honorable man I've ever played with or been around, love him to death, best of the best.
Chuck, let me ask you, kind of along the same lines as I asked Shaq, is it any concern for you that this team has fallen behind by huge numbers in 3 of these games?
They're a young team. And Portland, I told you they were underrated. They want, like, we never showed them on any network. We got 3 now, but we never showed them any network. They got a bunch of young talent, and they got a bright future. They come out with great energy. Tiago Splitter's done a fabulous job this year, but I think tonight will be different. I think what's going to happen with the Celtics and the Spurs, they're going to come out and get these series over.
Okay.
You know, like these teams are championship contenders. They're not going to screw around. And you know what the Coach Johnson going to say? Guys, let's do not get behind. Anything can happen. Injuries can happen.
Concussions can happen.
They can get on the win streak. So I think both of these teams going to come out like gangbusters tonight, especially the Spurs, because they got a tremendous home court advantage. Those people are going to be going crazy down there tonight, and Victor going to want to put on a show.
And I know how you appreciate guard play as much as anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Castle, Fox, Dylan Harper.
Yeah.
These guys, I mean, that's a combination that's tough to, that's a handful.
And it's pick your poison because there's no way that you have 3 guards unless you're, man, I can't even think of a team that has 3 guards that can come off of, one come off your bench and 2 start that you can say at that quality. So you have 3 starters of quality. De'Aaron Fox has found the fountain of youth, even though he's only in his 10th year, I believe it is, 19th
And he's only 28 years old.
He's only 28 years old. But he is playing with the vibrant, and then Dylan Harper, his ability to just create shots. And lastly, but not least, the multi-talented Castle has everything in the bag. So he has the defense, he has the offense, he has the strength, he has the foresight, he understands how to see plays before they happen. These 3, this is the best trio in basketball in the perimeter at guard positions.
And I like the poise and the confidence that they play with. You know, Chuck mentioned earlier that they're youngsters. They don't play like it. And I like the fact that you can't wrestle them. Like you mentioned, been down by double-digit leads. If you look at their faces, look at how they play in the game. They don't get wrestled.
Wemby, Castle, Fox, all averaging at least 20 in this series.
Yeah.
Another nugget for you. Last San Antonio trio to all average at least 20 in a playoff series.
Duncan, Parker, Ginobili.
In 2006. Ding, ding, ding. Very well done.
Hey,
Chuck.
not just a pretty face, all right?
That was kind of a layup. Anyway.
Not a pretty face.
Oh,
So that last game 4, first team.
Tyler, you're right.
You're right.
You're right. As I was saying, game 4.
Last person to stop it, Ernie.
San Antonio, first team to trail by at least 15 at the half and win by at least 15. That's what the Spurs did.
There you go. I told you, you get your own Jeopardy. You know more useless stuff than anybody.
With us, he is. When it comes to sports journalism, when it comes to journalism in general, the guy is a titan. He is a legend ever since he started working at the Washington Post 46 years ago and doing PTI for the last 25 years.
And PTI is the best show on ESPN.
Yeah. Hey, Michael Wilbon, thanks for joining us, man. Hey, we'll get into this.
Thanks for having me. Are you kidding?
Sure. We're going to get into this New York-Atlanta game in just 1 second. Let me just ask you a question. Which is more surprising to you at this point in the playoffs? that Orlando has a 3-1 lead over Detroit, or that the Lakers without Luka and Reeves lead Houston 3-1? Which is more surprising to you?
I guess the Lakers, because they ran out 3-0 without, 58 points a game. And, I don't want to ever count LeBron out of anything because that would just be dumb. But people were taking bets on whether the Lakers would get a game, and here they are up 3-1 after being up 3-0 without those two guys. But the thing about Orlando, and I know you guys have talked about this because I watch religiously, Orlando just, I don't know, what the hell were they doing during the regular season but going on a path that seemingly might get their coach fired, and he's too good for that. But when you have that kind of talent, and I know there were injuries, and I know those guys missed a lot of games, but Orlando never should have been in a play-in situation. At the beginning of the season, I thought they were more like a 4 seed. They'd be playing for home court advantage in the regular season. They wind up in the position they were, so maybe we shouldn't be surprised. And J.B. Bickerstaff did a great job of guiding Detroit through what they went through without enough offensive firepower at all. But I'm going to still say the Lakers. I mean, I just, 3-0. And when Kevin Durant, we got the surprise before game 1 that he wasn't going to play, still, I didn't see the Lakers going up 3-0. Maybe you guys did.
Now to the matter at hand tonight at the Garden. How would you, I know it's early at this point, but how would you assess the vibe in that building tonight in the 2-2 series?
Ernie, you and the guys have been here. It gets tense as they walk in the building. It's quiet. It's been quiet around town today, and people are just saying, "What do you think is going to happen tonight?" Because there's uncertainty, and you can feel it. You don't know how they're going to start the game. I would expect it to build when they see everybody, their heroes, come out on the floor. But I tell you what. What's Atlanta's response going to be to Karl Anthony Towns being the great big playmaker he was in Game 4 successfully with 10 assists? Are they going to shut that down? Is Jalen Brunson going to have a game like he had in the playoffs last year? I think it was a Game 5 when he went north of 40. If we get that Brunson and Cat, I think they'll be boisterous by the time we get to halftime in here. But Atlanta seems, just talking to the Hawks players just now and C.J. McCollum, they seem pretty calm, which – I would just wonder about that. I wonder from the guys if when they played here on opposing teams in playoff games, if they felt a calm before a Game 5 on the road in Madison Square Garden. So it's a fascinating place to be tonight, as it always is late in a playoff series.
Mike, you've been in this business for a lot of years. You always, heard the term must win. So tonight, who must win and who will win the series if the person wins tonight?
Woo, Shaquille. The Knicks must win. I don't think they want to go on the road against this young, energetic team down 3-2. I think the Knicks must win. And Atlanta, okay, they still get to go home and even it up. They don't know you don't want to get to a Game 7, and you still got to win another game here. But I think the Knicks are in that place. Their owners pronounced it sort of a, finals or bust situation, which only puts more pressure on everybody. And I think they feel that. But I think the Knicks in this building, given last year, the bar became beating the Celtics. And so if they don't even get back to the Celtics in the second round, that would represent to me a huge failure. I don't want to overstate it, but I think the Knicks are in the must-win situation tonight.
Well, Mike, you've been on television, but you're also a journalism writer. What's the story you're going to write tomorrow that you feel you would write if you were back at the typewriter back in the days before The Godfather?
Kenny, that you asking me like to do real work if I had to go back and do that. When I was watching you guys, it would bother all three of you in the locker rooms,
exactly.
Day off and night of, all three of you for years. You know what? I think the story tonight is that, so it's impossible to be here all day and not hear everybody talking about craziness to me about job security and do they blow up the team if they lose. I'm like, my goodness, can we just get through a series? No, New York, they're not going to be patient enough to get through the series. So I think it's the reaction of the Knicks, the reaction. If they win and they go up in the series and they have what appears to be a hold on it at 3-2 with a game 7 in hand, 6 and 7, but 7 at home, what is the Knicks' reaction? What is the town's reaction? What is the owner's reaction? I came in, I got a chance to sit and talk with all of our dear friend Patrick Ewing, who I covered at Georgetown and got to know from the time he was 18. And, Patrick, of course, knows the feeling of this more than anybody in this building on either side. And that's what it seems to be. How are they going to respond as players, as a team, and then the reaction around them? I am really curious to see that.
Well, I'm not going to lie, Godfather. I'm jealous because we got 2 beatdowns we showing, and you at the New York game. I would love to be there because New York is a special place. When that team is on fire in a big game, it is awesome. So I'm a little jealous of you. I'm not going to lie. I would love to be there tonight.
Charles, I'd love for you guys to be with you here courtside. And you're right. When you can come in Madison Square Garden in the springtime. I mean, I did last year. I like to be out west, Charles, as you know. I've migrated out your way, and I like to be out west and cover those series as much as possible. But last year, it was fun to be here for the Boston series and the Indiana series. I mean, my God, the place just crackled. And it was something of a magical run for the Knicks until it wasn't. But you guys know how it is here. It pulsates, or it's really tight. And right now, if you ask me to pick what it feels like, it's really tight. But it'll be interesting to see what happens at tip-off. And if the Knicks keep going in this, how would the next round matchup go? Presumably against Boston. So, Charles, I know maybe those other series aren't as interesting tonight. We know crazy stuff can happen. I don't expect, like you, I don't expect it to happen in those other games tonight, but it could happen here.
Michael Wilbon, it was a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for taking some time. Look forward to bumping into you on the road during the finals.
Absolutely. It's an honor. Love you guys and hope to see you in person soon.
Yes, sir.
The great Michael Wilbon joining us from Madison Square Garden.
He's just an amazing dude. And him and Kornheiser, man, I watch that show religiously.
We know.
It's the best show on ESPN, period.
Seems to me, Shaq, that the story in Game 4 was that the Knicks brought a new level of intensity to the floor that the Hawks couldn't match.
They played well. They did, exactly what they're supposed to do. But it's going to be a different day, Ernie, because you know why? When I woke up this morning, I went outside my house in McDonough. It was silent, and then the Hawks spoke to me. Oh. They said they wanted me to be the Hawk Master tonight. So I only got 2 things to say, Ernie. It's going down. It's guaranteed. The Hawks going to win this game, and they're going to win the series. You heard it here first. The Hawk Master has spoken.
That has the distinct feel of an Eric creation. Is that Eric's creation for you?
Shout out to my guy Eric, my arts and crafts manager.
That was the first time I saw the Hawks look like a young team. What you saw in Game 4 was a veteran team, like, we can't go down 3-1. They came out desperation, playing like it was a must-win. And the Hawks, other than CJ, they don't have a lot of guys with playoff experience. They had to know the Knicks was going to come out like gangbusters. They got staggered, and it was too late. And they've got to know tonight that the Knicks got to come out, because this is a must-win for the Knicks. You don't want to come back on the road. So it's hard to teach guys, young guys, the different level of intensity in the playoffs. And like I say, CJ is not he's terrific. But the rest of them young guys who've had great years, they just got punched in the mouth the other night and didn't know how to react. But they better be ready for another punch tonight.
You want to take a swing at this one, Jet?
Yeah, I think, the Knicks have to be very, very cautious because, again, Johnson hasn't played his best basketball at all. The things that he had been doing in the regular season, he's at par, but he's no birdies, Chuck. You know what I mean? He's at par. And the other guy that really is a mismatch problem for the Knicks when he comes into the game is Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga is a tough cover for the New York Knicks, and he also is a pretty good defender at times on Cat. So with McCollum and Kuminga, Kuminga has some championship experience, maybe not at the level of being the guy, but being around it and being in that atmosphere. And so, CJ, those two guys, I look to step up and play big in this game, and it's going to be an interesting game, and that's the game to
The
win.
Hawks their half-court offense is not good. The pace of the game will dictate to me how they got a chance. Because if the Hawks try to play slow, because Cat and Jalen Brunson are great one-on-one players. The Hawks, when they play fast, that's when they're at an advantage.
Hawks could use big nights from Jalen Johnson, Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Let's go, JJ.
Both, not scoring what they did in the regular season. This is a big one tonight, Game 5 in a 2-2 series. Chuck just wants to be in NYC.
Hey, Corey, you know, you always tweet, hey, ain't nothing can mess up that street meat in New York. I don't care what y'all say. I told you, I don't care if it's dog, cat, raccoon.
What? They go easy.
Yeah, I'm going to eat it.
Yeah. Dog, cat, raccoon.
Skunk,
Jeez.
rabbit, I'm going to eat it.
Roadkill. He reminded me, actually, at 11, he was about 6'4", reminded me of Chuck, being able to handle the ball and being that explosive.
I saw he scored every time he had passed the ball.
No, but before Tyron, you get into, there's one thing I do want to say. This is the proudest month I've had in a long time. Because knowing Tyron since 11, but not only him, on that same team, at 11 years old, Malloy was there, he's going to UNC. C.J. Harper was on that team, he's going to Old Dominion. Caleb Holt, who was the McDonald's game MVP, is going to Arizona. Caden Allen was going to Georgia Tech. And then we have Tyron, obviously, about to now. And then we had Cortez Redding-Diggy, who signed as the defensive back for the University of Miami. So that was on one 11-year-old team. I knew we were good, but I didn't think we were that damn good.
Now let's give Tyron a chance to talk and just take me through this process, okay, of building toward naming where you're going to go. And it's been, I mean, it's all over. I was amazed at how much stuff there is on the internet, all wondering with the question marks and wondering which way you're leaning. So who has it come down to, and tell me about the process of getting here?
Honestly, it's been a long process, ever since, I got my first offer, I think, going into high school, so, 8th grade summer. So ever since then, just
I'm going to let you talk into this.
Having college coaches talk to me, having to, build relationships with different coaches is, it takes a lot, just for a young kid to have to deal with, because we never had to deal with something like that before. So just being able to, listen to people like my mom, my agent, and stuff like that on the side, and just have conversations, and, just think and talk to God, and, I'll get the closer to shit. So
it came down to who would the finalists be? I mean, I'm here in Kansas and Kentucky. Is there a third in there? Is Oregon in that mix? What's up?
Oh, yeah. I dropped the top 3, I think, in November. So, for me, I would say those have been the remaining 3.
I'll take this back because I believe yours is working now.
Okay, bet.
And
I got another question for Tyron. In 7th grade, they started. He went from being oh, he's one of those good kids. Then in 7th grade, they were like, no, he's the number 1, 2 player in the country. 7th grade. How did you keep your focus and not be caught up into being now going to, that's 5 years of being this guy that everybody's chasing?
Honestly, a lot of people look at the rankings and they be like, oh, I need to be ranked this, I need to be ranked that. I look at it as just a number, It's a bunch of people's opinions. Me, I know I gotta keep working hard to get to where I want to be. I'm not at the NBA yet, so that's my ultimate dream. So as long as I keep working hard, they'll see they'll see my game, they'll recognize me. But being the number 1 player in the country is just a label that I don't really.
Well, it's a good label.
I mean, it's a great label to have, but I don't like to say, oh, I'm the number 1 player in the country, blah blah blah. Like when people ask me, oh, who are you? I just tell them I'm a soccer player.
As Gary said, as a youngster, you're still young, but when you started to play basketball, who did you mimic and who did you idolize as a player?
My favorite player growing up was KD, all the time. You ask my mom, I love KD, so I used to always want to tween, hezzy, pull, that was just the favorite move that, me and my friends always try to do, so I'd definitely say KD.
Yeah, and shout out to Mom who's here.
I was going to say.
I'll tell you, one time, his mom, when he was in 6th grade, she said she's going to work us out and train us. She had all the coaches doing boxing with her. They only lasted for a day because nobody was like, we're not doing this again. She had us going through this whole workout, and we were like, no, we're done with the workouts with Tyron's mom. That's done. We just going to coach him.
Have you got the video ready to go here? Mom, you ready? Because I think it's that time, isn't it?
Okay.
Want to make your announcement, Tyron?
Yes, indeed.
I'm ready. This is what I've been waiting for. But, first I would just like to, thank you guys for having me on the show. I would thank, NBA Tip-Off for having me. I thank my partners, Panini and 2K for, giving me this opportunity.
Panini is a great company.
Great company, great trading cards. I got, some for you guys. You can pass that down. Got two for you.
Okay, we got Tyron Stokes cards.
Got two for you.
Yes,
These things could be worth a lot of money.
Yes, indeed. We're going to hold these.
I'm going to definitely hold these.
I would
These
love.
the only ones?
Right now.
Hey. You a lucky guy. You got them first. That's all you need to know. Oh, but first, I would just like to, thank God, thank my mom. He put me in this position, to feed my family, provide, and, just give me an opportunity to meet great people. Open a lot of doors for me. I'm just great, just to, let that ball take me all across the world and just give me an opportunity. It's been a long journey. I'm grateful, but, with that being said, hold on. Gotta make sure my shades is on right. You feel me? But hold on.
This is dramatic. We got to see what it is.
There's a lot of blue over there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't get too excited.
Oh, that's...
Hold on, let's take me a little time. Okay, cool, but...
Did you know who is it? You know who's in there?
Nah, it's like a gender reveal kind of,
Okay.
Don't worry about it. In the future, you have so much money, you can get somebody on the rap stuff for you.
But with that being said, I'm taking my talents to University of Kansas University.
Oh!
Rock Chalk, man. Rock Chalk, you feel me? Rock Chalk. Coach Bill Self, great coach.
Great person, too.
Great person, He's been there from the beginning. He's always fed into me, He's gave me great advice, through the entire process. I just want to say thank you to the university. Rock Chalk Nation just giving me the opportunity to go in the Allen Fieldhouse and just, leave my mark. I'm ready to go, put on the show. And,
All right,
let's
move that over. Let's get in there. There it is,
I'm
baby.
there.
Congratulations, brother.
Congratulations. Yes, sir.
It's a huge night. By the way, congrats, man.
Hey,
So
man.
proud of you, happy for you.
Proud
man.
of you, happy for you.
Jeez.
Coach Self is going to do a good job. He's
Great
a hell of a
job.
coach and
Great
a hell of a
job.
person.
Yes, indeed.
Waiting until
The coaches walking
Nicole,
right
come on
over.
up here if you got it. Get some airtime.